Hello, this is my latest handmade artisan journal. These journals are created as pieces of folk arts. They're meant to be written in, but you can also keep them. I collect both folk art and other creators' journals, which I actually write in. So you can store it as folk art like this. It is a wide mouth journal, so it doesn't like close up neatly because there's a lot of stuff in here. It is big, there is a lot of stuff. It is about 9.5 by 6 inches. I'm going to try to go really fast because there's a lot of stuff to show you. The materials range from vintage to modern, metal, fabric, stone, twine, rope, all sorts of flower materials. You're going to see that there is a lot going on. So I'm going to try to jump into this pretty quickly so I can take you through everything, and then the details will be posted in the notes. But first of all, I've created this. Again, it is handmade. It's totally unique. There's a lot of my personal art in it, so it's not just sort of digital things that I've downloaded and created a book out of and then cut out shapes in. There is a lot of personal art in here as well. It is supposed to look lived in, so I do collect journals from other creators. Some of them are just perfect. The ones that I like have personality. You can see some of the marks, and there are sometimes little frayed edges, glue stains, things like that. That is how I make these journals. So they're not supposed to be perfect because neither am I. That's how I sort of like my artwork. But to begin with, there's gold hardware on the edges, which is sort of the the book corners, and then also for the spine dangle, which is gold. And I've got two of them here for you. And I'm a terrible camera person, so hoping you can see these properly, but one is a little person with a little orange flower in the theme of the fabric, and then the other is a dangle that I created with all sorts of little charms and talismans. The theme of this journal is a walk in the woods, so the colors reflect that, these beads. So it's kind of like a fall autumny wood. And that is this vintage fabric that I've chosen that covers the journal. So the first thing is you open it up and you will see that it's not particularly like, you're going to see like loose threads, and it's supposed to be like that. I love it like that, like it's sort of a found in the woods type feel. First thing is that the fabric is vintage, and so is the lace, which is used to make a pocket on the inside cover. This is a piece of handmade paper that I've stitched in with waxed fabric. Any space that you see, you can actually journal on. This is a page which has got like all sorts of woodland creatures. You can't, I think it's cute. I wouldn't journal on it, but you can buy a gold or silver pen or a thick pen and journal on that. Here's some journaling space here. This is burned paper, like you found this journal in the woods. This is some vintage wrapping paper, which I've created a journal page out of. Here is some tea-dyed paper with some embellishment. This is also tea-dyed paper, a different type of tea. You can see sort of how they are sort of different shades. Now, these are the first of several, actually many notebooks. They are obviously leaves. I hand did the covers and attached little charms, and inside you open them up and there is this lovely tea-dyed paper. So these are things you might just want to put in your back pocket and take on a walk to record your thoughts and then bring them back. And then of course they're clipped into a page, which is also journaling space. Here's a bug, because there's a bug page here, and you open it up and tea-dyed paper, there's journaling space, and then a page from a zoological, these old books I found from the 70s that are sort of zoological. They're like manuals for zookeepers, so I took a page out of that and put that in there. This is another mini journal notebook with tea-dyed paper, and the inside you can see are these gorgeous hand-glued William Morris patterns. I'm a huge fan of William Morris's patterns, so you'll see a lot of William Morris sort of designs throughout. Some embellishment. I don't know if I mentioned I'm the worst camera person in the world, so I hope you can see all of this well. Tea-dyed paper with embellishment. I also got an art book, an old art book, which had famous paintings. So if some of these look familiar to you, it's because they are. They're famous paintings. I would keep them as is, but of course you can journal on them. A little bit of vintage fabric with a charm of a feather. Here's another mini notebook. You open it up and there are these wonderful little tags for you to journal on. And in the background, there's also some of this zookeeper. I told you about the zoo manuals. I've used those as the end papers, and lots of little journaling cards here, which have been sponged and have different gorgeous sort of themes of nature. Again, there's like the end pages are these conferences that you can see. There's a conference, a zookeeper's conference. A note on this paper, it is vintage. It is vintage Parisian school paper in the 90s, bought in Paris. So I've used it here and created notebooks for you out of it. This is out of an old atlas that was going to end up in the dump. So I pulled out the atlas, and so you'll see I've created a pocket here. You can also journal on these pages. The theme is butterflies, so what you have here is a butterfly net, some little stickers and pockets, journaling space, journaling cards and papers, and then a little pouch here with a gorgeous handmade necklace of a feather. And that goes, or maybe it's a leaf. Looks like a feather. Sometimes I think it's a leaf. That gets tucked in here. This is tea-dyed paper. More little butterfly ephemera and a butterfly bookmark, butterfly moth bookmark. More journaling space. This is a bookmark slash journaling card. Bookmark slash journaling card. Handmade. All journaling space, journaling space, journaling space. A pocket with a journaling card. Journaling space. Now this is gorgeous. This is actually watercolor and tea dyed, and you can see it's got this really light, ethereal sort of glow, this glowing paper. I think it's really gorgeous. These are little journaling cards. They tuck in here. This is a pocket that's been stitched, and a journaling card with, again, that gorgeous William Morris. I'm such a fan of his designs. Mini notebooks. Tucked into a band. And this is more of that vintage school paper from France. I created these tiny little notebooks for you. I think they're so gorgeous, with doilies, little lace doilies, tucked into vellum pockets that are stitched in. Little cards, journaling cards. Oops, sorry, this is moving. Another pocket with journaling cards. This one has a little 4-leaf clover and vintage lace as a charm, and you can see the back. And this too also has a vintage charm. This is tea dyed. And you can see it's so funny because of the various colors of the tea. You have various colors to the paper. Another mini notebook. There are a lot of them in here with a charm. You open it up, a pocket with ephemera, tea dyed paper on the inside, and this tucks in like this. Ooh, a tiny little envelope. More of that gorgeous William Morris paper. I think there are a few more pieces stuck in there for you to journal on. Handmade journaling cards for you of woodland scenes, put together with a cute little penguin paper clip. I don't think you see penguins in the woods, but who knows, you might. And I've included a pen. It's a piece of tea-dyed paper, which has a fold out in it. 2 journaling cards here. William Morris designs on the back, and nature and woodland themed journaling cards. Here is a piece of paper, tea-dyed. I think they're so gorgeous, with a embellishment. It's kind of like a decal on there. I just love the leaf embellishment. Now, this is one of my favorites. This is an envelope with little journaling cards in there with the nature themes. They're really gorgeous. Tuck that in here. More vintage lace with a little charm and dangle on the end. Now this I hand painted like a sort of a field of wildflowers, as you might find in the woods, with some journaling paper and cards and space in here. And you've got some vintage lace, and then 2 little journaling cards here, journaling space there, and then some handmade roses. You can tuck these into your pocket and go for a walk. This is all tea-dyed paper. Look at how gorgeous. Tucked into leaf pockets, all handmade. More little notebooks. Hand sewn pocket here, again with atlas, and yet another little notebook with a winter theme in the woods, and a little snowflake dangle. And again, more of this wonderful zoo paper. These were these old manuals I found from the 70s that zookeepers used, and so I, instead of just throwing the pamphlets, the books out, I have used the pages as end papers. More tiny little envelope with stickers. Lots of fun little ephemera here for you to discover. I'll let you discover them. Ooh, and here are lots of handmade journaling cards. They all have little embellishments. This one has a little shell. Surprise, a little cockatoo. Not sure if you would find him in the woods, but kind of found him and I couldn't resist. Of course, this is, I think it's Provence in France. So, walk in the fields in the woods. Love this tea-dyed paper. It's so rich. This is tea-dyed too, but it's come out a lighter color. Here is a journaling card. It's clipped in of a nice, lake scene, sorry. Try to get this to hold still. Here is also another pocket with some journaling cards tucked in. Now these are also tea-dyed papers, and just look at the contrast. This is, I think this is a black tea. These imported teas actually use different teas to dye these, and so this is also vellum pocket, another notebook. told you there are lots of different notebooks here. Monkeys, more tea-dyed paper. More sort of burnt paper you might find. Oh, and a little lace embellishment, and I love this. This is a cloud pocket with lots of journaling cards here, embellished with washi tape. I love these pockets. You can put other things in them too. And then you have a bunch of different journaling cards here as well. And then last, you've got another pocket here, and I've also included 2 cards, which are made by chimpanzee sanctuary chimps. These are chimps that are rescued from laboratories where they've been tested on, and they now live out their lives on farms. And this is their paintings that they have made. So there's information on the sanctuaries and how you can donate as well there. So this is the latest journal, and if you like it, you can find it for sale on the links below. And if not, they should be, I think, actually on eBay. So hope you enjoyed it, and thanks. Please feel free to share any feedback.